Hello, this is Cody, Robert, Judy, Cry in the Wilderness, Monday, July 9th, 2018. And I just woke up from a dream, and in that dream, I was on a bus, which a lot of times has to do with social issues and social progress. And I was in my seat, and I had a few things by my side, just like notes and stuff like that, and I didn't want to lose them, and the seats would rotate throughout the bus, and I didn't want to lose them, so I went, because they rotate, and I was going to take a rest. And so I went to sleep, and I was asleep for a half hour. I know that very specifically, a half hour. And I woke up, and all of a sudden the bus was crowded, and I went to grab my things and put my things in the overhead compartment, and I was looking in all the overhead compartments, and they were just stuffed, like there was no more room. I couldn't even put a few things, and I was like, how in the world did all this get stuffed so fast? And I was in the front part of the bus, like a front section, and it must have been a double-decker bus, because there was this big section, and then there was a kind of like a rail that went down, that you could crawl down almost like a ladder. And I crawled to the front of the bus, very front, and went down that ladder. And guess who was sitting by me? Or not, just standing there, kind of like hanging onto the ladder. But it was Mitt Romney. And I looked at him, and he was a little bit embarrassed about me. And I think that wasn't a good thing, you know. Mitt Romney is running for the Senate in Utah, U.S. Senate seat in Utah. And I remember kind of like hanging on the ladder, the rope, like he was. And I remember thinking, well, if you practiced a stump speech, you just memorize it, and it's nothing to give and regurgitate over and over and over again, kind of like you did when I was running for the Senate or for the House of Representatives and for president. But I remember distinctly thinking that about the stump speeches, and it was like no big deal. But I remember also at that time that we were on the highway, and it was Highway 258. So that, and the fact that I was on board with those people who were running for office, and Mitt Romney specifically, and we were in Utah, and I had fallen asleep for exactly a half hour. Now, if we go to Revelations chapter 8, starting in verse 1, it says, "And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was a silence in heaven about the space of a half an hour. And I saw the seven angels which stood before God, and to them were given seven trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar, and cast it unto the earth. And there were voices, and thunderings, and lightnings, and an earthquake. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. And if you want to hear what those 7 angels sounded, go to Revelations chapter 8. And then the only thing I can think of about Highway 258, I'm going to look up 258 when it comes to angel numbers, because I know they're significant. But if you add them up, 258 equals 15. 15. Don't know. And then I had that dream about the little Calli Lilly, and I believe the Calli Lilly is a significant for July, and July 15th is a Sunday, so we might have that to look forward to, and that corresponds with Doctrine and Covenants section 88, so I encourage you to read that also. That's all. This is Cody, Robert, Judy, Cry from the Wilderness. I'll talk to you next.